So most of us understand English, but still cannot speak confidently. And today, I'm sitting with someone who has helped thousands people to fix this gap. So I am really eagerly waiting for this moment where I'll be hosting Vinny. So hi Vinny, how are you doing today? I'm really having very excited to have a talk and conversation around communication skill and more about spoken English.
Thank you so much, Anshuman, for having me here. And it's, of course, a pleasure being here. And I look forward to the conversation. Thank you for this warm welcome. I have been doing good, and I think I'll be better after this session.
Sure. So like, but here, what I really want to know is the fluency actually about English or something deeper. So we'll be, just trying to go into deeper to understand like how the communication actually work. And we would be just, I really don't wanted to miss this part because I don't get this opportunity very often where I can interact with a mentor, where I can interact with someone who has experience training more than hundred and thousands of people. So I'll be, directly going to the questions, right? Are we good to go?
Yes, absolutely. Let's get started.
Sure. So, Vinny, first question would be, what was the moment when you realized that people do not struggle with their English, but they struggle with their confidence?
Every day, every day I come across certain situations, Anshuman,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel people, first of all, they have that hesitation. They know how to speak, they know it's there with them, but the only thing is just because they have this fear inside, they have these, we call it as a preconceived notion. They have this with them. That's the reason they are unable to open up. And this is something that's holding them back. Eventually, we can call it as lack of confidence, right? So it is there with people. And that is something that I come across every day.
Got it. I mean, you might be interacting with a lot of people where you would be helping. So, before understanding their situation, you must be thinking there is a mindset shift is required. Isn't it the way you perceive the people?
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, we need to understand even if we are making mistakes, no worries. All of us, see, suppose Anshuman, when just think about the time when you started learning, right? Were you perfect? No,
Never.
not at all.
Yeah.
But now when you moved to this city, now where you are living, you might have found several people speaking fluent English, right?
Right.
This might have demotivated you at times, made you underconfident, hesitant, nervous, everything.
Right.
But now we have two choices at that point of time. We have two choices. Either just uh, look at these people who are superior to you in terms of this language, get nervous, and then pull yourself down or back, right? There is another choice. It is all about the choice you are going to make. There is another choice to fight with your fear and overcome it. Now, initially, it's not just hard, it's going to be arduous. Means you cannot fight with it. Because how can a person, when you have total lack of confidence, when you know that I can't speak anything in front of people, how will you face someone who is speaking so well in front of you? But you have to overcome it. And it's just about choices. So if you are not going to make that choice that I will speak no matter how many mistakes I'm going to make, no matter how many
Right.
people are going to judge me, if you're not going to make that choice, Anshuman, remember, you're not going to grow, flourish, thrive in this language. So you have to break that barrier, number one.
Lovely.
And that's how it will start.
I definitely resonate with that. There is no other way people would feel that I would watch videos, I will do blah blah blah. But ended off if there is one way to go through with that and eventually we'll thrive to that. I completely agree with. So like when you have you ever felt underconfident while speaking? This time people would be seeing you, when he's being public speaker, training so many people. So have you ever felt by yourself?
Yes, of course. And if I tell you, no, even advanced level speakers, I
Yeah.
think this nervousness should be there with
Right.
everyone.
Right.
I think it should be there. It's it's must.
Yep.
Why? Because if you are not nervous, at times you become overconfident, and overconfidence, I think, always harms, right?
Right.
So I would like to describe, I would like to come up with one incident that I can recollect at this point of time. So I was attending one wedding close to Lucknow. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was a big fat wedding, and there all the groom's friends, they came from different countries. Right. So there was one guy, not one guy, in fact, all of them at that table, uh, they were having wonderful conversation, and such amazing conversation they were having, fluently, confidently, and in the best possible manner. At that time, what I felt, Anshuman, I'm telling you, it wasn't the case that I wasn't aware of this language. I was pretty much fluent, but I was unable to, what we can say, the conversation that was going on, I was unable to participate. Right. I was looking for that opportunity where I can add my point or add something from my end, but somehow it was taking a lot of time. That
Mm-hmm.
was the day when I realized, am I underconfident? Am I nervous? Am I unable to break that ice? And why is it happening? And finally, out of nowhere, I added some points, and eventually, I got comfortable. But I realized I was unable to start.
Mm. Got it.
So, means this is something that I have always on my mind. Always this incident. Because that was quite an awkward moment.
Yeah, like so somewhere like how did you actually ended up contributing? So did you ask like can I interrupt or can I add something or you just find out a pause then you started adding your point?
Initially, see what happens. Suppose if other person is discussing something, speaking about something, you simply nod. Okay, like okay, yes, yes,
Right.
fine. That much is your contribution. But you have to find at least one point where you can just enter into that conversation, right?
Right.
So I remember I just spoke about something. See, the problem was they were all IT guys. Okay.
Okay, got it.
And I was someone totally away from it.
Right.
So I even didn't know how to add my value to this conversation. Right.
Mm.
At that time, okay, I found a common point. I'm unable to recollect what exactly I added, but I found at least one point or one question, or maybe any open-ended question, like for how long have you been working there? Right.
Mm.
For how long have you been living in Canada? And what's your plan after this wedding? And will you be exploring, or are you planning to just return?
Right.
Something in general. Right. So that's how I found that moment. And we started. And after that, it was such a cool, comfortable, and wonderful conversation. But you
Mm.
have to take that plunge. You have to gather that strength. Means I have to do it. Otherwise,
Correct.
no one else will ask you, okay, Anjuman, please speak. No, you have to do.
Right,
Right.
right, right. Having said that, we are being perceived from, so many people being confident speaker, but we also have this uncomfortable situation. So that's why I just wanted to highlight, even wanted to ask from you, and you really highlighted it well. And the learning I believe we get from there is that no matter at which stage we are, we'll have to take a step ahead, right?
Absolutely. You have to see, you have to create that space and value recognition for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you.
Right.
Right. And no
Because
matter what your level is, nervousness
yes,
is okay, fine. Being overconfident isn't good. And you have to find your space. You don't wait for others that others are going to come and invite me. Anjuman, please speak now. No, not everyone is going to do that. So
correct.
that's something. Yeah.
And even the nervousness point were really resonated because I have heard a quote. Even I was watching a video of Bat Ibrahim, if you know that he used to train the graduates of USP. in UK. So he used to tell that there are two kind of people. The first who acknowledge that they have, the fear or the nervousness before going to the stage, and second people who only lies. So, I mean, either somebody is saying that I don't have any nervousness, so 99% of the time they are saying a lie, because this is very common. We should have it, as you mentioned, right? It is like a shot. We should have it so that we can actually see that how much we can perform, right? All right. So, like, just moving further, I would like to understand, Vinny, from your point of view, what is one misconception about English spoken that really frustrates you?
Okay, the misconception is that we can master this language in 21 days, 30 days. That's a misconception. I can't really digest it. I would like to understand how is it possible. So far, I'm unable to crack that what we can say decode it, or I am unable to
Correct.
crack it. How this language can be learned, and okay, learning is okay, but fluent in 30 days, 21 days,
Not
I
possible.
don't believe in all these things. I find it pretty much a gimmick. I can say uh you can achieve decent fluency or a foundational level
All right.
fluency in 30 days, 21 days, but mastering this language and becoming an effective, efficient speaker, that I think is a big misconception, number one. Number two, I think, Anshuman, people think
Are you there, Vinny?
so sorry, Parkat. I'm so sorry, Anshuman.
No problem. Is it
Is it
fixed now?
okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, we were discussing about the second misconception. And the second misconception is people come up with a defined timeline. Ma'am, will I be able to become
All right.
fluent in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? What is your suggestion for how long should I work on my? Should I attend your classes or watch videos or whatever? Am I going to become fluent in 3 months? See, of course, when you are learning something, suppose if today I start learning French, Anshuman, I'll ask my mentor, ma'am, how long is it going to take for me to become fluent in this language? That's a common question. And when you are at the stage, learning stage, you need that clarity.
Correct.
But one thing is there that we should always and always think about how I can improve day by day, day by day, day by day, instead of focusing right at that point, like the destination, at least first enjoy the journey,
Right.
right? We simply forget it. We overburden ourselves with so much that, oh God, how will I master grammar? How am I going to add a lot of vocabulary? How am I going to become advanced speaker? How will I add a lot of phrases and phrasal verbs? No, don't burden yourself. So, this is a misconception that there is a fixed timeline in which I'm going to become fluent. And just because of that timeline, you overburden yourself so much that you almost forget the path that you are walking on or you have chosen. First, enjoy that journey. Have a timeline, have a certain destination on your mind, but try to enjoy that process and make the most of it.
Got it. Lovely, lovely.
That's my,
I
yeah.
mean, what you
Yes.
mean to say is
What's your
that,
take?
I mean, I must agree with the thought. Having said that, I also try to conceive it in the same manner, because obviously, like, we should have a clarity that this is my goal, but we shouldn't be driven by result. Once we think, okay, this is what I gonna achieve, go a step deeper and trying to understand the process, as you mentioned. What is the path to get to that fluency in 10 days, 20 days? So what is your plan, right? And then actually do not think about the result, because again, if you're tied with result and you won't get that, even if you're putting efforts, you will demotivate yourself. So instead, I would take, even I also personally do this from last 2.5 years. That's what really brought me here. It's just being driven by process, right? Because boss, see, I know that I wanted to go there. This is the path, and this is the only path. So why not to be consistent? No matter what will happen, I'll see. Even the Bhagavad Gita quotes comes in the picture, if you remember. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. So like even Lord Krishna is also saying the same, right? So why not to believe on them? Lovely. I mean, I,
Absolutely.
all right, all right. I mean, I obviously resonate with this, and I believe that most of the people would also say the similarity and they would be processed even after watching this video. So, just add on with this question because you highlighted a point of a misconception number one, which people fix a timeline. Let's suppose somebody comes to you and asks Vinny, ma'am, I just wanted to be at a good stage into the 30 days. How would you transform a beginner? And what is your approach?
Okay. Anshuman, if I talk about this process, no, where I get a beginner and he has, we can say, okay, the fixed timeline is of 30 days.
Yep.
What in that situation, what can be done is, first of all, the most important thing is that person should surround himself or herself with this language. Okay, number one thing, you just have to surround yourself with this language in a manner your social media, whatever you have with you, should be in English. You should listen more and more. You should try to understand more and more.
Right.
Try to understand. Number one, this is your, we can say, this is your assignment, right? Before you start with any sessions, do this. Now, initially, what you have to do, you just try to understand how much is that person able to uh, deal with. Let's suppose if the person is able to manage just with words, analyze that. Sentences, analyze that. Paragraphs means we need to understand what is that person's level, number
Correct.
one, right? And once you find that level, okay, now this person is able to manage only with words. He's unable to make sentences as well. Only words is his capacity or capability. Then let's go forward with adding some words for couple of days, some more words, so that we can strengthen his vocabulary. He can gain some confidence. After that, start with sentences. Why? Because he's unable to make sentences,
Correct.
right? So for first 5 days, we can go for sentence making like that. Okay, because he was unaware with the sentences also.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next step comes with paragraphs.
Yes.
Initially, only sentences, and don't believe in teaching some heavy grammar rules, right?
Right.
It's just about learning some phrases, some day-to-day sentences, and once you come up with those day-to-day sentences, try to now weave it, knit it into paragraphs.
Hmm.
That's the main thing. So I think if that person is able to reach at a stage where he is comfortable with speaking in paragraphs within 30 days, I think that's a great achievement. Because he was someone who could only speak words,
Correct.
only words. He switched to sentences. With sentences, now he is finally at a stage where he's able to manage with some paragraphs. Okay. So
Correct.
that is one big achievement. Instead of adding tons and tons of words, advanced vocabulary, this and that, it's not going to work. If you are thinking that you will be teaching a newcomer and a beginner a list of idioms, how is it going to help that person?
Correct.
Not at all, right?
Right.
So once that person becomes this comfortable with paragraphs, give him as much practice as possible for at least 5 6 days so that he can get comfortable with speaking. And what I believe is, Anjuman, most of the time we focus on quantity. That's one big mistake, right? We focus on quantity, and that's not going to help anyhow, anyway. So whatever he has learned for first 25 days, last 5 days just ask him to go through it repeatedly, right?
Use it
Instead
multiple
of giving
times.
him new content every day, different content, different words, different phrases, what is he going to do? That's all available on the internet,
Correct.
right? So why are we trying to provide something that's already available?
Makes
So
sense.
try to provide something that they cannot get.
All right.
That's something what I believe. I'm not sure to what extent my answer was supporting your question,
No, I got it. I
but
completely see when the reason behind asking this question was pretty much clear because so many people, especially the beginner, follows us, right? And if they would go through with that, how a master or the the mentor used to perceive a beginner, what advices they will give if I'll go to them personally. So I believe this is the platform we should leverage to convey your message to them. So if they were watching and you really gave a very practical advice, I would try to sum up. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something. You said that firstly, we'll have to increase our input. We'll have to listen more. We'll have to watch more. We'll have to read more. First of all, this is the main fundamental point. You'll have to surround yourself, right? And number two, as you said, that start with a step by step process. If you are good at words, try to increase a little, adding a little more words, try to create sentences, and your goal should be very clear that end of the 30 day, at least I could speak sentences, I could introduce myself. That's how we should perceive if they can do it. And I really believe that this is a very fundamental thing. Even I gonna ask the next question regarding grammar because you related, I mean, you highlighted it well. So the next question moving forward would be the same. Can someone has this fluent English without having a good grammar? You're on mute. Yeah.
see, grammar is important. This cannot be denied. It is the foundation, right? These
Mm-hmm.
days, we come across many, many videos. Even some days, even I say that grammar is not everything. It is important, but it is not everything. Let's
Exactly.
understand that, right? See, one thing we, and if you're talking about the possibility, like, is it even possible to learn English without having grammatical knowledge, background, accuracy? I can say, Anshuman, in this case, see, we should understand one thing. We can speak English. For example, there was one person I had conversation with him. He has simply learned English by memorizing. Can you believe that?
Memorizing
Just
the
by
words.
memorizing words, sentences, whatever
Oh my
comes
god.
in front of him. He said, I have, and he was fluent. I had conversation with him on my
Okay.
channel. And he literally surprised me. He just he busted all the myths I had. So he said, I have memorized everything and I have learned and now I have become fluent. And it was completely a surprise for me. How is it even possible? No grammar, nothing means nothing, simply memorizing. And that is one thing, one something new that I came across. That
Mm-hmm.
this is also a method of learning English. So what happened was, just a moment. Anshuman, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Vinny, but not visible.
Yes, yes. I started getting messages from the other person. Yes. So, where were we? What was the point being discussed? Yeah, I was telling you about that learner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
How he learned by memorizing. So, if you ask about the possibility of learning English without grammar, yes, it's possible. How it is possible? By shadowing, as these days people are following this a lot, shadowing, and by memorizing, by listening as much as possible, observing, and then these ways, but it is going to take long. It's a long process and it's not going to happen overnight. Anyway, even if you're learning with grammar, it's not going to happen overnight. But yeah,
correct.
about possibility, if I describe, it is possible, very much possible, no doubt, like that. So in that case, you just have to internalize, you have to follow shadowing, you have to follow more and more listening, and you have to be a great observer. I have seen people who say, "Ma'am, I have learned English just by observing my colleagues in my office."
Correct.
So these people are learning without referring to any grammar books and theories like that. So I think
Yeah.
this is possible.
Yeah, right, right. I mean, I'm also been very much onto the same page in terms of how much grammar is important. I think and I believe so that we can have a different discussion that how much grammar is important and how someone can actually start learning. So I would not go deeper into that because I have a couple of questions left and we do have a couple of minutes too. So I'll again go back to the questions. So, like, it is kind of you can take it as in rapid fire questions. It is just for understanding your own personal learning that how did you learn, what and all mistake did you do. So, in order to that, the first question would be, what is the funniest mistake you have ever heard? Like, your any of your learner have done regarding learning this thing.
Okay, funniest mistake. Uh, uh, okay, there are many at this point of time. If I had to think, uh, that is like I have seen people using all the tenses together. Right. What was that? I'm like, what? What is this? Just think about it. In which direction are you going? I'm unable to recall any particular sentence. But yeah, that's how I have seen using all the tenses in one go, like that.
Got it, got it.
So, yes.
And any of the one word which you think Indian mispronounce the most, according to you?
Pronunciation. That's the word.
Even pronunciation,
Even
even.
good speaker,
Correct.
speakers, they say pronunciation, pronunciation, something like that. Pronunciation is the word.
Okay, got it. Thank you for the clarity.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and one more question is if English didn't exist, what is the skill would matter most according to you?
Confidence and being expressive. The way you express, that really matters, no matter what the language is. And if you put it confidently, you can get good sales, good number of clients, you can crack any situation, be it your
Correct.
personal or professional life, like that.
Lovely, lovely. I would not take much of your time because we had been, have to wrap up the session. So last question for you for the day is that if someone watching this, video and they actually feel stuck, Vinny, and feel scared to talk, so what would be one key message for them to take from this, and they shall so that they can actually start implementing after watching this video because they have watched till the very end.
If you're scared of speaking, just come out of that fear, start speaking. If you don't have a partner, self talk, self talk, self talk. That's how it is going to help you. And you won't even realize that even by self talking, you will become so confident one day, one fine day, that it will be easier for you to at least start with other people. But at least start. Take that one step, even if you till date you are thinking, okay, I will start speaking English from tomorrow onwards. No, today is the right day. Start for 1 minute, 2 minutes, like that, but do it. That's my suggestion.
Lovely, lovely advice. And I believe the people who have watched this video till the very end, they must got some of the key things that what and all the learning they got, right? And because we believe in practical learning, so I'd expect everyone to at least drop a key message that what was the learning they're gonna implement from day one. But it was pleasure talking to you, Vinny. Every other time I used to get an interaction with you, I personally learned a lot of things, especially your hardworking nature and your body language, sweet gesture, engaging every other conversation. I see that your smiling face and the sweet gesture always give a comfortability to the other person, so they should also adopt these body language tips. So thank you again for giving your precious time. You're
Thank
on
you
mute.
so much, Anshuman. Thanks a lot for having me here. Thank you so much.
All
See you
right
very
then.
soon.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
looking forward to connect
Thanks.
you again. Okay, bye bye, have a
Yes.
great day ahead.